I can't explain.
I can't wait to hear it either.
You know him better than I do.
Yeah, I'd love to hear D'Angelo on this one.
We're just going to let you go. We're going to give you that's a solo segment. Plus, our very own James Palmer is bringing us everything we need to know about how Joe Flacco is fitting in Mile High. Is this still Elway's town? Because I saw Drew Lock up on the microphone in front of the reporters, and he looked real confident standing up there.
He does. He does.
Can't wait. It's time for Lead Block.
Lead Block!
Lead Block!
Come on, D'Angelo. You've been here all week.
I was late. I know. I've been late all week. I've been late.
D'Angelo, I'm not going to continue.
I've been late.
Agreement.
Lead Block!
There it is.
Cowboys full squad training camp opens a week from today. Veteran tight end Jason Witten will be back on the field, in the locker room, just everywhere after retiring from the league after the 2017 season. So as Witten laces up his spikes for a 16th NFL year, his former QB Tony Romo says that he expects Witten to play like he never left.
If you know the game the way he does, there's certain positions, he plays one of them where at the tight end, he's always going to have the nuance to get open. I think that he's got to pick up. Right when he retired, I think you'll see the same guy.
Romo there. D'Angelo, I do believe that you played against Jason Witten a lot in your career. What does a 100% full, healthy, full-powered, full-strength Jason Witten do for this Cowboys team?
You know what? The great thing about the position he plays, I think, is what Tony was kind of alluding to. You don't need to be 25 years old and in the best shape of your life and running a 4.40. Like, Jason Witten has never really been that guy that was going to beat you with speed. It's all about positioning his body in the best position to catch that ball in front of you. I can remember a time playing against him when I had just moved to safety, and we had a much more athletic guy in there trying to guard him. And he just kept giving him a little nudge here and there, just the little nuances that he does at the position. He kept getting open. I'm like, Coach, put me in on it. And so I kind of, Jason's one of those guys I always said, and I say it jokingly, but he slows you to death. Like, he goes so slow that if you're a fast twitch guy, you're like, there's no way he's running this route. He's moving too slow.
That's a great description.
But he slows you to death to the point that his speed, kind of like Steve Nash. Steve Nash and even Steph Curry, they're not going to be confused with Russell Westbrook as far as getting up and down the court as fast as they can. But the way they use their speed and kind of slow you down and go a little slower and then go a little faster to their slowness, it's uncanny. And Jason Witten has been able to do that for years, and I don't think he'll miss.
He bores you to death is basically what you're saying.
No, but he won't miss a beat because his game was never built on that. There's even times where Jason won't even block. He'll just run out as if he's running a pass route. Tony Gonzalez started doing it late in his career as well. And there's a way for those guys to kind of trick you. Like, if I'm going this way, you have to come occupy me, right?
Well, he's smart, too. I mean, that's
Very
the other thing here is that you've got to have the brains and the ability to do that. He understands the game. Look, his broadcasting career lasted one season, but you could hear him in the booth the way he was breaking down the game. He's got a full understanding of the game at the very least. Okay, Adam.
Yes.
So when you combine that, I guess it's kind of a natural feel. Like, when you play that speed game, it's got to kind of be instinctive, doesn't it?
Well, it's not that it's instinctive, but at some point you're going to slow down. But when you're when your max is what Jason's was for the past maybe 7, 8, 9 years toward the back half of his career, like, that's what made him and Tony so special, is because they were in such good they had such good chemistry. They were in sync. Anytime he turned around, he knew exactly where to put the ball. The interesting thing is he hadn't played a lot with Dak, so I'm interested to see if that chemistry is going to be as good as him and Tony, because if he's coming back and Tony's the quarterback, oh yeah, I'm thinking this dude's going to still put up great numbers. But can that chemistry still be there with him and Dak is the question mark for Cowboys fans, I think.
And they had chemistry before Witten decided to hang it up and go to the booth. And, of course, Cole Beasley being gone is a nice security blanket that's missing for Dak in this offense, especially their contending team. They want to win right now. I also think it's really fascinating sitting here every day for 3 hours, what a non-story this is.
Yeah, I'm right with you.
The fact that it's not a headline, that we're not focused on it even more. And I got to say, I don't know that I would trust many veterans to go in there and have to talk to Kellen Moore and take answers. Like, if you put Dez back in that locker room, this is a huge story. How's Dez going to handle Kellen Moore? Is he going to respect him? All of that. Is it weird, and you tell me because you're in locker rooms, is it weird that the presence of Jason Witten through camp in that locker room makes me feel better about Kellen Moore, who hasn't called a play in the NFL.
I think you should feel better about it because Jason has been there with Kellen when Kellen was a player. And so Jason's relationship with him is probably one of more of a peer kind of relationship. Yeah, coach in the room, another coach in the room, echoing the same thing. And the reason you're not worried about Jason is because he's not going to come in there and ruffle any feathers. Like, they really didn't bring Jason back to catch balls on third down, even though we know he can. I think he can. They brought that guy back for veteran leadership in that locker room. They have a young, talented football team who I think is one of the front runners in the NFC to come out and go to a Super Bowl.
That said, on third and change, I think he's definitely looking.
Yeah, he's going to be looking for
I'm glad we're spending the top of the show.
Yes,
in 7
it's a
minutes.
huge story.
Well, but from the time it broke, I mean, nobody had this story ahead of time. The email came in. I'm at the combine, and from the Cowboys. Hey, we just signed, like as if it's just some undrafted free agent that you never heard of. Cowboys signed Jason Witten. When does the team ever get to break that news? And the email comes in, and I'm going,
you're not happy about that, are you?
I read it 3 times before I tweeted it out. I'm like, no, wait, let me make sure before I make this mistake that I'm reading this, that there's not some kind of other guy, Jason Wheaton maybe, and I'm misreading this or something.
Jason just couldn't pick an insider to make the, he's like too embedded in the broadcasting side of it.
Hey,
I do want to narrow.
I tell these guys, I'll always take it.
Let's broaden this out quickly to the entire NFC East, because I think we can all agree that Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott are probably going to be pretty lethal. It's not going to be Witten that's that huge difference maker in that offense. What's the most impressive or intriguing pass-catching duo in the NFC East for you?
I think you just said it. To me, it's Dak and Amari. Yeah. You saw what they were able to do in just such a short period of time. I'm excited to see what they look like together, what they look like with Jason Witten in that room as far as a leadership standpoint, and Randall Cobb. They have weapons. Zeke now, they're starting to say, hey, this dude can really catch the ball. So it's gonna be so many offensive weapons, I feel like, for the Cowboys, that Amari Cooper has no choice but to excel. They can't just hone in on him what they started doing at the end of last season. So to me, it's Dak and Amari, hands down.
Both guys trying to get their cheddar too.
Yeah, yes they are.
We'll see if Dak and the Cowboys come together. We'll see. Amari, they've got some time. Well, yeah. Clock's ticking because a lot of people. A lot of people thought it was going to happen in the spring, but my understanding is these sides were miles apart in the spring, and they said, well, maybe by the start of camp. Well, start of camp's right around the corner. This could drag into training camp.
QB pass catcher.
I'm sorry?
QB pass catcher.
Oh, my turn?
Yeah.
I'm going to go. What's that?
Do you agree with him?
I do, but I'm probably going to, listen, it's casual Friday. I'm wearing short sleeves. I can do whatever I want, right? So I'm probably going to try and go too smart for the room here, and I'm going to go Carson Wentz and Dallas Goedert.
Did you just insult us?
No.
Too smart for the room.
No, I said I'm trying to, which means I'm probably not going to make it happen. So Dallas Goedert, who had a sneaky good rookie year, okay, and looked like a complete tight end, maybe more than some people thought. Well, now, and listen, there's only so many footballs to go around. So if Dallas Goedert catches more passes this year, Zach Ertz is going to catch fewer passes this year. But these guys developed a really good relationship in their rookie year, and Ertz was impressed with Goddard and his work ethic and all this stuff. And from my understanding, the Eagles are really excited about Goddard this year because they saw how he was able to be used. So when I say that it could be critical to the team's success, you put 2 tight ends out there, guys that could be pass catchers, guys that you can work out in space. That creates coverage problems for defenses. So that's why I'm going to go with that one. I'm not saying that he's their #1 target or any of this.
You're around that team a lot, so I already wrote down Goddard as a potential sleeper
in
there.
pen.
Fill-in tight end in pen on my blue sheet on a Friday. I'll submit this. Everybody talks about Odell. Everybody talks about Saquon. I think the most important pass catcher in that Giants offense here in the NFC East is Evan Engram, another tight end that I think is slept on. This was a guy who was top 6 last year despite missing 5 games. He put up numbers. He averages over 50 yards a game when he's on the field. So I just feel like I'm hearing a lot of Saquon's going to face stacked boxes day in, day out. They're going to sell out to stop him. Evan Engram has the responsibility to step up and be a threat. You do not want to mess with me. You better come defend me and leave Saquon alone, because that'll help him, help Eli, help everyone. Odell being gone sort of eliminates the deep threat for them. Evan Engram has to step up and be even better. Not that he wasn't good already. A great stat from my guy, Evan Silva. Only 4 tight ends over the last decade logged more receiving yards in the first 2 NFL seasons than Evan Engram. George Kittle, Gronk, Jimmy Graham, and Aaron Hernandez. So he is already in rare air, in elite company, and this is an opportunity for him to sort of embrace not only a role for himself, but to help out the entire offense.
Banged up last year, stay healthy. When they drafted him, they saw him as a possible Jordan Reed type guy. We'll see if he can stay healthy and be that guy.
Who knew we'd talk about 2 tight ends to start?
4.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
All of the tight ends.
Wait, 5. Ertz and Goddard. Yeah.
And we're hitting them
This
all
was your
here
block
on
tight ends.
Football. There's a major development out of New York, by the way. This can't be true. Who's not showing up to training camp?
Le'Veon Bell?
No.
Oh.
See, don't start that. Don't start that. And D. Hall. How could Josh Norman think that this is no big deal?
Yeah, that's a big deal. Now, he cleared it pretty convincingly, so he probably is like, no big deal. But, yeah, probably not going to catch